Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today's a sort of 2-in-1 special. We're going to be talking about both the signing of Matt O'Reilly from MK Dons. We're also going to be talking about the game tomorrow, the match preview, the preview show for Alloa in the Scottish Cup. It is the beginning of the Scottish Cup journey. Can Ange make it 2 out of 2 this season for domestic cups? Well, it's a bit early, but we can see if we can get past Alloa first. Once again, thank you all very much for hitting 32,000 subscribers on the channel. It is much appreciated. It's absolute madness as well. So let's keep that going. Press the red subscribe button down below if you haven't already for more daily-ish content in regards to Celtic. A big kind of 6 months coming up now, isn't it? With the end of the season coming in. So if you want to stay in touch, if you want to stay informed with myself, then make sure to hit the red subscribe button below and also hit the like button. It also helps very much. So then, Celtic confirmed last night the signing of Matt O'Reilly from MK Dons. We knew this was going to happen. We knew it was only a matter of time. It happened so quickly, and that's a real testament to Celtic this season, I would say. We've got our business done in such a tidy fashion with almost every single player we've signed. You've seen in January, the beginning of the window, we'd signed the 3 Japanese boys literally before the window had even opened. The 31st, we announced it. They were in the door for the 1st of January, and they've now made all their debuts for the club. Matt O'Reilly, it was really sort of, okay, we're looking at Matt O'Reilly. Okay, we've signed Matt O'Reilly. It happened very quickly, and I feel like that's happened with the majority of players we've been linked with this season. We've managed to do it tidy. We've managed to do it without a lot of fuss. And then the only one we've really seen take twists and turns and not kind of come to fruition was that one with McGree a couple of weeks ago. But, you know, that was done, and we moved on so quickly. That was one of the things we never really spoke about in the last video when I spoke about the rumours surrounding Matt O'Reilly. We never really spoke about how we went out and we've identified another player and how we managed to do it so quickly. Now, there was an article that was on Twitter that was going doing the rounds over the past couple of days from, I think it was 3 years ago, I think it was 2019, that was linking Celtic with Matt O'Reilly while he was at Fulham. So obviously it's a player the club have been looking at for a number of years. He's probably been on the radar of the scouting system for a little while now. But the fact that we managed to move on so quickly, identify the player and bring him in, is once again a testament to how things are running at the club right now. I mean, we've seen such a kind of 180 in how things have changed everywhere in the club over the past year. Let me make it perfectly clear, I'm not bootlicking. I don't think everything's absolutely perfect yet, but we're certainly making progress. We're certainly getting better, and right now there's not an awful lot to complain about. He now becomes the 5th signing of the January transfer window, signing on a 4.5-year deal. I'm very excited. I honestly can't really look past this as anything but a great signing. It seems to be so highly rated, and I think the reaction of the MK Dons fans says it all in the quality of player we're getting here. Now, don't get me wrong, of course, MK Dons aren't a club that at the level that you probably desire to get players from, but you know when you can't disrespect that. It's like when people look down on the Scottish Premiership. You know, you don't want to look down on players just because they're playing in League One. I think this is a very talented player we've got in our hands here. He's obviously had a very successful youth career coming through the Fulham setup, and you know, with him leaving the club, MK Dons, I just keep seeing tweet after tweet about he was only here for a year, but he's one of the best players I've seen at MK Dons. He was only here for a year, but he's probably one of my favourite players to ever play at MK Dons. Tweets like that I keep passing, and I think we're having a talented player here. And it's funny because you've seen a lot of the kind of things shared from forums online, and it seems even some opposition supporters know that this is a talented guy and are quite know that he's quite highly rated. So, you know, we've definitely got a player in our hands here. And look, most importantly, we've signed a player in an area that I felt we had to improve, that we had to have a little more depth in, especially with Turnbull being out. Now, I really obviously love Tom Rogic. I really rate David Turnbull as well, but they are the two only kind of central attacking midfielders we've got, and they are two players who over the past few years of their career have struggled with fitness and injury. So, you know, you are relying on them, and we've already seen now Turnbull drop out with injury, and it raised the question, right, who comes in to fill his void? And I think that we had to bring someone in, and someone younger as well. I think that, you know, Rogic is getting on a little bit, and you want someone there who's going to be there for a while, and he signed a 4.5-year deal. He'll be here till 2026, hopefully, and he's only the guy's younger than me. This saddening. I've got to that point in my life now. He's younger than me, which is just crazy. I mean, I thought that being 21 was young. Christ, I feel over the hill now that I've seen him sign for the club. I was happy listening to his first interviews as well. He seems really up for the challenge, and I spoke about this in the video the other day, and the kind of guy he is and the personality that he is and he's bringing to the club. I think he's the sort of guy you want around Celtic. I feel like he'll fit right in with the dressing room and how that vibe in there must be just now. Of course, I'm not an insider and I don't know how perfect it is or whatnot, but it does seem like we've got particularly good vibes going on at the moment. And I think he'll add into that some of the quotes from his opening interview. He found out quite late, had a phone call with Ange. He came across really, really well, and he was the one who really sold it to me. Obviously, the club itself is massive, but just speaking to him really sorted it out for me. With the style he plays and all that surrounds it, and him as a person, as soon as I got off the phone, I was ready to come, to be honest. The last sentence is a bit sus. In all seriousness, I think that's another sort of testament to the manager and how he's transformed the kind of feeling around the club at the moment, made it such an attractive move. And it's so funny just looking back on even myself from 6 months ago when, I was saying, Ange Postecoglou coming in, he's sort of unknown. How will that affect us trying to attract players? Not in the slightest. If anything, we've attracted, I think, so far a better quality of player we've been seeing over the past couple of years. Everything is just perfect right now at Celtic, I feel like, and Ange Postecoglou is such a massive part of that. Another relationship that looks to be starting off well with him and Matt O'Reilly, and God bless the Celts, God bless Ange Postecoglou. The question is, will he start against Alloa on Saturday? Tomorrow evening, I should say. Celtic head to Alloa, an away game in the Scottish Cup to kick off their Scottish Cup campaign, and a game which you would expect Celtic to win fairly easily. And look, I never used to until last season, but I always get the fear now saying like Celtic should win fairly easily in case it comes back to slap me in the face, in case something does happen and then you're left looking like a twat. But I mean, if Celtic should be winning this fairly easily, that's the reality. If Celtic don't win this game, it's embarrassing, and you've got to hold your hands up and say, well, it was embarrassing. I don't think anybody's wrong in saying we should be easily winning this game. Alloa and in Scottish League 1 at the moment, they're not doing particularly well in Scottish League 1 at the moment. And with the quality of football we are playing right now and the intensity we are bringing to Scottish Premiership sides, you would imagine we should be blowing a League 1 side out of the water, quite frankly. So I'm hoping that we do see that tomorrow in the League Cup. But will we see, the Scottish Cup, but will we see Matt O'Reilly play? I don't think he'll start the game, but I think we will get to see him as long as, of course, the international clearance and such is done, and registration as such is done. Hopefully we will get to see him in the Scottish Cup tomorrow. I think that it would be a good way to bring him into the team, start off his career. And look, there's every chance for him starting. I think we're playing on a plastic surface. I might be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. If we are playing on a plastic surface, there is a chance to maybe take out someone like Rogic, who obviously has had injury troubles in the past, and bring O'Reilly in, who's a younger guy who has such a sort of clean record when it comes to injuries, rather than risking Rogic. But I think that we will see him maybe come off the bench later in the game, and if we do so, hopefully he does have some form of impact. But if he does start, then bring him in. It's not exactly a baptism of fire, a Scottish Cup game against Alloa, but it would be nice to set up some preparation. It would be nice to kind of get him ready for the big games we've got over the next week. After this, we've got 3 really tough games, and if we can trust O'Reilly for those, then we're in a really good place, I think. If we can have him ready for Hearts, Dundee United and Rangers, that's a very confident start for him himself, and I think us as supporters to buying into the player he is. Of course, the manager of Alloa, Barry Ferguson, a man that Celtic fans, of course, know very, very well from his years at Rangers. Not going well for them at all. If I just throw up the form table right now on screen, as I usually do, that is not a great run of form for Alloa in League 1. A very poor run of form domestically at the moment. They've only got 5 wins in 21 games this season, and as you see, the last 5 games have been very, very poor. Barry Ferguson not enjoying life right now there, I would suggest. But look, Alloa are a team who, of course, last season were in the Scottish Championship. They were punching well above their weight under the management of Peter Grant. They were managing to stay in that championship. But now they're kind of back down to the level you'd expect them to be at. I'm surprised they aren't really challenging at the top of the table, considering they have just come down from the Championship at a better standard of football. But you look towards the top of of League One, and you've got the likes of Queen's Park, you've got the likes of Airdrie, you've got the likes of Cove Rangers. It's a very high standard for that league of those three sides, in particular Montrose as well, and you've got Falkirk. You know, it's a very good league for League One. You know, a lot of teams that are probably underachieving, you could say. But Alloa is a side we should be beating, a side that we should be easily beating, and I don't think we'll take any prisoners, to be quite honest. I mean, we talk about when we have these games resting players, and we talk about putting out second string teams. Celtic aren't about that. I don't expect to see that tomorrow. The only kind of comparison I can make to this game that we've had so far this season is Raith Rovers. Now, Raith Rovers are far better than Alloa, don't get me wrong, miles better. Raith Rovers are a side who are at the top end of the championship. But when we played them, we all asked that question, will Ange rotate? Will Ange put out a kind of second string team? How much change will we see? Well, here's the starting 11 from that day that we played Raith Rovers. And as you can see, a very, very strong side for what we had available that day. Now, the only players that kind of stand out to me there as not sort of first-team players are Montgomery, McCarthy, and Ayeti. Now, I believe at this point in time, Montgomery was the best left-back option. I think this is when Greg Taylor was injured. James McCarthy needed some minutes in his legs. He was understandable, and Ayeti played up front. And I think the absence of Kyogo, Giacomakis had just came through the door, I believe, as well, so he didn't play. That was the team that played that day, and that is a very strong side that played against Raith Rovers. We went out, we won 3-0 that day. I don't think Ange is going to make any changes tomorrow, and neither he should. I think we should be playing close to our strongest side, maybe get minutes in the legs of some guys, maybe the likes of Liam Scales, James McCarthy, again, get minutes in the legs, but at the end of the day, you're looking at a team that needs to get as much time in them coming up to these games. They need to be playing regularly. Now, I know there's always the risk of injury. However, you really don't want to go into, you know, Hearts midweek with players missing a beat. You need to play a strong side, and I think Celtic will play a strong side. So, what is that strong side then? Who do I think will start the game for Celtic on Saturday? Now, I think if you throw up the team that we played the other day there against Hibs on Monday night, I think we'll see a very, very similar team on the screen. You'll see my changes. I think Giacomakis will come in. I think he'll start the game. He does need a game like this to maybe boost his confidence. He's missed a lot of football, and it's an opportunity for him to bag maybe a goal or two, so I think he will play. I don't think Jota will start. I think we'll keep that sort of same front three bar Giacomakis maybe coming into the starting lineup. Defensively, I don't see any changes being made. I think we'll play the exact same back four. And the midfield three, once again, I think we might play the exact same midfield three with Matt O'Reilly maybe coming in. And I think Joe Hart will obviously play in goal. So not a lot of changes, but I think it's a big chance to get Giacomakis into this team and maybe bag himself a goal. Dyson Maida, of course, it would be great to keep his scoring form going after his great debut. But once again, I think we'll maybe see him come up. It's a very hard one to tell, but I think it's a big chance for Giacomakis. Maybe bring Maida on the second half. And finally, the score prediction, the main part of the video. I think Celtic should be winning. We should be keeping a clean sheet. We should be scoring a lot of goals. I'm going to go 4-0 to Celtic. Christ, if that comes back to slap me in the face, I'm quitting YouTube forever. There we go. That'll do it for my match preview and such today. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Keep safe, have a lovely weekend, and we'll see you after the game tomorrow to discuss the 3 things we've learned. Right, cheerio.